Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, and
Yes.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah. So
Yes.
happy to have you. This is not the first time we're meeting,
No.
and just for formality, as an introduction, you're an activist, you're a social worker, you are a counselor, and furthermore, now you're wearing the hat of an actor,
Okay, that
right?
sounds all right. I'll
Right.
go with all of that.
Yeah.
Activist sounds a very
It's
intimidating kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
word,
yeah, yeah.
but
Okay.
I'm glad you said that word because I tend to call myself a patient advocate, but the policymakers look at an advocate as an activist. So I'm very glad you said that.
They really don't tell the. They really don't
They
make the
don't.
difference.
I'm so
Yeah, yeah.
glad
You
you
might.
said that.
Yeah. So I mean, you deal with a topic which is, in most people's eyes, it's not most people's eyes. It is a serious topic. Cancer
It
is
is.
serious.
It
There's no.
is.
There's. Let's not beat around the bush. Cancer is a serious topic, but you're trying to bring a certain amount of levity, a certain amount of. Would it be too casual to say casualness
No,
to it?
not really.
Yeah.
Not really, because I think on the whole, my objective has been to bring cancer into a safe, comfortable platform where we can leave the stigma, the fear that the word cancer invokes and look upon cancer. It's just a word.
Right.
It's just a word. It's a disease, and if you break up the word disease, it's dis and ease, which I like to think of absence of ease. And I think it's a condition like any other condition, but for some reason, maybe because of because of stigma, because of the perceived horror of the treatment, definitely the fact that it is life altering and life threatening, which is why it invokes fear, and add to it throughout its journey the myths, misconceptions
Right.
that
Right.
have been bestowed upon this condition.
Oh, nice. So the last time we met, one of the things that struck me about you is that you have this aura of positivity and energy to you, which it's just it immediately comes off. It's regardless of the fact that whether I am aware of your work or if an individual is aware of your work or what do you do, it's just you have this infectious energy. And I just want to ask you, like, did you cultivate that by working in this field, or because you're working with something so serious and you're trying to change people's lives and the lives of their loved ones and dealing with such a dreaded beast such as cancer? Did you adopt this persona, like this, you cultivate the state of mind?
In a way, I think you're right. In a
Okay.
way, I do think I took a conscious decision that I'm not going to be this, person who adds to the severity of this condition.
Okay.
And I do have that trait. I am basically a happy-go-lucky,
Right,
a
right.
happy person,
Right, right.
and so I did consciously or maybe not bring that facet of my personality
Right.
to my work. Let me also say that you see in others what you yourself hold within you. So you are someone like that. Therefore, you saw that aspect of my personality, if
It's like
that's the right word.
everyone carries around a little mirror
I think
which
that's very
reflects.
true. I think that's very true. But yes, I would say that it is not. It is a little bit of a conscious effort, but I think when yes, I work with people who've been diagnosed with cancer, cancer patients, and I see no wrong in using the word cancer, disease, patient. I mean, it's a fact.
It is, it is, it
Someone who
is.
is unwell is a patient. Someone who treats somebody who's unwell is a physician. So I mean that's okay. Patient doesn't kind of brand you or anything.
No.
But when I'm with patients, I see how they have accepted the disease, and they have also they make it quite clear that the cancer has changed them and it has made them into better people. I think they are aware that now life is finite. Is that the word?
Yeah, fleeting,
Yeah.
finite. Yeah.
Yeah, and they want to make the best of the life that they have. And yeah, in our patient group meetings, we laugh a lot. We laugh a lot. There is a joy that is kind of immeasurable.
Yeah, but that is so therapeutic, right? I mean, laughter, when they
It
say,
is.
that
It is.
it's a cliche when they say, laughter therapy, and some people even, look at it, frown upon it, but then it is therapeutic, it is very helpful.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
that's
And then when we say cliche, what is a cliche? It's something you use very often to describe
right,
something,
exactly.
and that's how it becomes a cliche. And there's no other way of saying it. No other way of saying it better.
In your experience, when it comes to, you say you're trying to bring about change in the patients' lives and the lives of their loved ones. What is the biggest obstacle you faced in your, can I say crusade? It's not a crusade.
No, I like the word crusade.
Yeah, in your crusade to
I like the
bring
word
about this
crusade.
change to,
Yeah.
cancer care.
Yeah. Let me talk about how I love the way you use the word crusade, because people sometimes use the word battle, like oh, lost the battle to cancer, or fighting cancer. I don't think we are being fair to cancer by putting this kind of using this imagery. Nobody loses. Just because somebody died doesn't mean they lost.
Right.
And a battle is something which is very it's time bound. Okay, it's not about winning or losing. I like the word crusade, because what does crusade mean? Crusade means a journey, a sustained campaign,
Campaign, yeah, campaign, right.
and I like the word crusade because of that, because you're fighting. Yes, I think you're fighting the fear. I think it's not about fighting cancer. It's about fighting fear.
Yeah.
And I think that is the main, to come back to your question, that is the main obstacle, fear. Why does fear occur? Fear occurs when you have not equipped yourself with the knowledge to face a situation with. And knowledge, uh, awareness are the tools
Right.
with which you equip yourself to face whatever is the situation. There is this word paristhiti. I think it's, if we say that in Hindi, I'm sure it's something which anybody will understand.
Sure.
It's got a, when you have to face this situation or condition or paristhiti, like I like to call it, if you turn your back and run away, it's so much more easier to be harmed. But if you face the situation equipped with the tools that is required, I don't say arms, I say tools,
Tools, right.
which is knowledge, awareness. You're strong, then you become very strong.
Yeah, it's about helping people find their inner strength, right?
Absolutely.
Everyone has it in them to fight.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I suppose you're trying to help them find that strength within themselves.
I also want to say something here. We come from a privileged background where we have a lot of material resources to help us face a lot of situations. Yes, we have to look deep within, our inner reserves of strength to equip ourselves with that. But whether it is money, whether it is a home, whether it is other material comforts, whether it is access to the best doctors, access to counselors, family, extended family, we have all of that to help us face the cancer or face any situation. There are so many people who don't have a lot of these resources I just spoke about. And the work we do, you are also familiar with the hospital environment.
Yeah.
The patients who come to us, the work we do, patients in this country, in this part of the world, in low and middle income countries, have nothing. They have no resources to speak of. Financial toxicity is crippling. Patients and their families are brought to their knees, trying to look for funds to treat their loved ones. And in these patients, I find a courage, I find a strength. They've gone through all those stages that you speak about. And the last stage, we were discussing this,
earlier,
about acceptance being the most difficult stage. So, acceptance that comes out of some kind of fatalistic thinking, this is in the or this
It's
is,
like
that is not acceptance.
It's like I
that
have
is,
nowhere else, nothing else to do but accept.
yeah, that is giving up.
Yeah.
When acceptance comes with understanding,
Right.
saying that, oh, listen, I have it within me to face this, no matter what the outcome. I have that inner strength within me. There are actually no external factors. Everything comes within. Everything is from within. So then we work with families, with patients who come from a very low socioeconomic background. But I see the love they have for their fellow men. I see uh, the, the, the unconditional love they give to people like me who actually are working to find support for them. The way a patient and a patient's family simply adores their treating physician, and
Right.
it is something else. There is joy in all those steps towards finding that place from where they can handle the diagnosis.
Oh, that's nice. So last time when we met, you had just kicked off the Chai for Cancer road tour.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
How's that going? Where
Wow.
all have you covered? Which
It's,
all
it,
areas have you
it
covered?
was an amazing
Right.
experience. And I think beginning it from this part of the country,
Country.
I have very strong roots in Kerala.
Yes.
And when my patient leader Karthikeyan
Right.
said that we should do this, he is a fanatic about driving cars, and
Right.
his leukemia was diagnosed about 17 years ago. He's been telling me forever, and he lives in Udumalpete, and which is like just next to here. And so he said, we'll do this, and I want to go through Kerala, and then we'll come down, we'll do South India first. And
Right.
so I think the road show, there were two objectives. One was, of course, raising funds. Chai for
Right.
Cancer is a fundraiser.
Right.
Chai for Cancer is a fundraiser first and foremost. Putting it into place, I realized that it can also be a tool for raising awareness. See, chai is something that is so ordinary, so non-intimidating. You and I can have it together.
Yeah, exactly.
We can have it at any time of the day, anywhere, how many ever times we want it. We can have it by ourselves. So I wanted to bring cancer into this atmosphere of chai, which is chai is something that's companionship. That kind of you begin sharing, and cancer is like like we said earlier, intimidating. And so then for Chai for Cancer, I realized that if you're hosting a Chai for Cancer adda and asking people to come over,
It's like a sit
share
down.
a cup of
Yeah,
chai
let's
with
sit down,
you,
let's talk, yeah.
eat something, and then donate and contribute towards the cause. Like you said, let's talk about it. So then I realized that people are talking about cancer in these gatherings. They're talking about their experiences. They're asking questions. They're clearing doubts. They're asking for clarity. And it just, became something that can be done very easily. So the road show is, instead of asking people to come to us,
Right.
Karthikeyan said, Amma, let's go to everybody.
Right.
So we set off in his car, just the two of us, okay? And we started off from Udumalpete, then we came to Kochi, we went to Kozhikode. After Kozhikode, Gudalur, the mountains,
Yeah,
came
mountain,
down came down to Mysore, then Bangalore, then Pondicherry, then Madras, Puducherry, and then Chennai.
Chennai,
Okay,
yeah.
so it took us 10 days, and we had 10 addas. At every stop, we had like here, you hosted
Yes, last
the
time.
first one.
Yeah, the first one,
you
yes.
hosted the curtain raiser.
Curtain.
And we raised over 10 lakhs
Wow.
in those 10 days.
That is
And this
remarkable.
came from people like you and me, normal, ordinary people. It is not that some big donor gave me the money and said, okay, no, it's the people I met in each of these addas. And it's not that we just went, it's not that I just came from Udumalpete to Kochi and then Kochi to Kozhikode, Kozhikode to Gudalur. No, in between we stopped. We'd see one chai kada and Karthik would say, Amma, get down here, talk to those people. So we would have a chai. In one chai kada like this, there was Ali who told me he
Okay.
worked in Pune for 20 years. He said, come on, let's talk in Marathi.
Oh wow, that's nice.
I said, Aga Bhaga. And then at that stall, of course, there were Chaco and his son. They were Malayalis. They were making the chai.
Right.
And then there were these four guys, young, um, well built. They were construction workers from Bengal.
Okay.
So a little bit of Bangla I know. I was talking to them in Bengali. And I told myself, Karthikeyan is a die-hard Tamilian, okay?
Right.
Ennamma, nalla irkingla ma, that kind of a Tamilian, okay? And here we are, two Tamil speaking, Malayalam, Marathi, Bangla.
It's
I
almost
said,
like
this
the-
can happen only in Kerala.
It's almost like the beginning of a joke. Two Tamilians or
Literally.
Malayali and Bangla walk into a bar.
I thought this is Kerala. And then on the way, we crossed Palakkad. That was before we touched Kochi. Palakkad, and we stopped at another
Right.
chai kada, where we had students. They are nursing students from college in Palakkad.
Okay.
Young boys and girls, and we sat. We had chai, and they were very curious, because Karthikeyan's car has the Chai for Cancer logo and all that. So we spoke to them, and one young lady, she shared a cancer experience she had, and the other young boy spoke about how his cousin died. All of a sudden, the cancer came from nowhere, and it created so much fear in the minds of the family that anybody now who coughs or sneezes or says "Inki ivada korchu vedana undu," they're like, oh my God, it could be cancer. So what I want to say here is, through this tour, I found out that creating awareness is
Very
one
important,
thing,
yeah.
causing panic is something else.
Yes.
So when you talk about cancer, when you say that your objective is to create awareness, be very sure that you're not causing panic. So the information you give people has to be understandable, has to be accurate. Very, very important. So then we went everywhere. Every place we stopped, there was some unique. These young girls. They were walking to college, and we taught them just a quick session of breast self-examination.
Right.
And there were fishermen who were they were smoking beedies. So we just spoke a little about tobacco. They brought us such lovely chai, beautiful chai. There's a bird sanctuary on the way to Kozhikode. Kadalundi Bird Sanctuary.
Right.
Just as we approach Kozhikode,
Kozhikode.
it's beautiful. The landscape is beautiful. My patient group, my patients have taken me to this bird sanctuary.
Okay.
It's beautiful. So for me, actually, this road show was revisiting all these places with a new consciousness.
Okay.
In Mysore, one of our doctors, he hosted it in his clinic, and that was really so gracious of him. In Kochi, also along with you, in your hospital, we had one at the Abad Plaza Hotel. They hosted the other. So Chai for Cancer has become like it belongs to everybody. It's not just mine. Everybody's taken ownership of it. Pondicherry, Red FM and Suryam, they are our radio partners. So we had a wonderful gathering at the studios where they interviewed us, and Bangalore, a very close friend of mine, hosted an adda in her house.
Okay.
It was on Vijayadashmi Day, and Chennai, Adyar Cancer Center, where all our patients come in, all well-wishers come in, all the doctors. So both awareness and fundraising, and Karthikeyan's dream was also fulfilled.
Ah, yes.
So that was the Chai for Cancer roadshow.
Do you plan on duplicating this up north?
Yes, we do. Yes,
Okay.
we do. North, West, Central India, and
Cover the whole
this is going
country.
to happen. And I know it will be better and better.
Yeah, definitely. Let's hope so. So this, it takes a lot of effort, doesn't it? I mean,
It does.
At least from a layman's point of view, to do what you are doing right now. Just get up, go around, talk to people, interact with people, spread that awareness, just go around the country doing that. Like, so what gets you, what fires you up, what keeps you going?
My mom, my father and my mother, we come from a very modest background, and our home was always learning and music and books and humor, very rich in that. And
Right.
I think there's a saying which says, get up, dress up, show up. And I think if that willingness to do that is there, you can achieve everything. So my parents kind of instilled that, you're not going to back off from anything. You have it, like I repeat this, everything is within you. There are no external factors. I love this. Get up, dress up, show up.
Funny you should say that. My dad had a very similar philosophy in life. It's and especially certain other things he was stressful about. One was punctuality, because that shows you a respect for others' time.
Yes.
And when you say get up, dress up, and show, the dress up part, when you dress up for an occasion, it shows you respect that occasion and you respect that other individual. If you show up shabbily, it's indirectly telling my time or my effort is, your presence is not worth my effort. So,
We think the same. This is so true what you said. My father was also well groomed. Even at home,
Yeah.
you're not to roam around like, because then you're not respecting the person in the house with you.
Right.
And like I said, from very modest background, so you don't have to, you don't have to dress. Being well groomed is not an expensive escapade, for want of a better word.
Yeah. It is not. It
Well
is
groomed,
not.
wash your face, tie your hair back, or whatever. Wear clothes that are clean, okay? And and that's it. At home, I grew up, this is a long time ago. I'm 72 now, so this I'm talking about, say, 60 years ago,
Oh, wow.
when I was 10 or 12. My dad he worked in the home ministry. We're a family, we call our parents Maiji and Babuji. That's the Delhi influence.
Right.
Maiji, Babuji, my grandparents, Annaji and Ammaji, and we have 5 siblings. And somebody or the other was always at home, either a younger uncle or an older cousin who was working in Delhi or studying, and my parents were the local. So we were like a big family in government quarters in Delhi.
In Delhi, yeah.
Dad would come home by 6 o'clock or so after his work, and it was unsaid. We all had to wash our faces, change out of our school uniform, and get ready and just be dressed, well dressed, and that kind of has stayed with me throughout these years. So there is, at no point in time, would we be not suitably attired.
Right.
Well dressed, well groomed. Because exactly what you said, the way you dress shows how much you respect the person in front of you.
Exactly. Another thing, I know a lot of people have asked you this, but you are wearing the hat of an actor now. How did that come about?
I love it. This may be my one and only film, but everywhere I go now, whether it's an airport or any public space, people have watched the film.
Have you been recognized? So in your Chai for Cancer, the road show that you've done?
Oh my God, everywhere we stopped. I
Right.
didn't want to say it because that was not, part of the Chai for Cancer, but now that you're saying, the students,
Right.
they were very shy first. After the cancer awareness lecture, everything was over, and the second set also with the breast examination I did with the young girls, they said, "Oh, selfie." They kind of recognized, and and this is now 7 months since the film was released, and at the medical conference yesterday, at where we went to have breakfast. Somebody rolled down the window as I was crossing the road to to go to the other side, and said, "Umachi, we loved you." And I want to tell the director Akhil Satyam,
Yeah, I got that.
it's not me, it's the character he created. It's
Right.
the character he created, the power he has given to the concept of older woman who's a grandmother, a mother, who can stand up for herself, who can be fearless, who can do what she wants to do, who's still willing to learn, who has tremendous self-respect. In the film, I realized this afterwards, maybe in my 3rd or 4th viewing. In the film, everybody calls the character Ummachi. She's Ummachi. And even
Right.
before she comes on screen, there's a lot of reference to Ummachi, her medicine, her this, her
Right,
that.
right.
But when she introduces herself to somebody, she says, she tells a little girl, Perenda, and she says Nidhi. And she says Ummachi. No, she says Laila. Leila is her name.
Yeah.
So in her mind, she's Leila, and she brings, and again the young boy in the train, she says, Peranda, and he says Ashwin. She puts out her hand, she gives him that darja of a adult and says, I'm Leila.
Right.
And I think that is a lesson for everyone. Do not submerge your own individual identity. People may call you anything, but you are you. And Akhil Satyan, who wrote the film, he wrote the script, he directed it, he's so young. The wisdom he has, little things like this, And I might also confess here that now when I go to a Starbucks and they ask for my name,
Right.
I say Leila.
Oh, shit.
I love that. So the film came as a complete surprise. I mean, you're 71 years old and you're being asked, would you like to act in a film? I mean, and I have a full-time
Was
job.
that ever on your bucket list of things to do?
Never. Can you believe? I wanted to be an air hostess, I remember, when I was growing up.
Right.
I wanted to be an air hostess. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a TV had just come when I was, a young adult. I wanted to be a TV news reader. I never wanted to be acting in films. So then apparently they saw my photograph in Instagram and that was the look the director wanted, And so the casting directors, Gayatri Smita, she called and she said, are you interested? We're casting for a Malayalam film. So I said, do you speak Malayalam? So I said, I have a full-time job, I don't speak Malayalam. My Malayalam is terrible. And this was out of the blue. No, acting in a film, no. So then the young lady was very persistent. She kept calling and she sent messages. Somebody from a Bombay studio also messaged me and I kept saying I have a full-time job and I don't speak Malayalam. The lady called again. She said, next Sunday, the director, his name is Akhil Satyan, he's coming to Bombay. Ma'am, it's a Sunday and he speaks English. I thought that was very smart. And my curiosity was, I was intrigued. So I met Akhil over a lunch. We had grilled fish and mashed potatoes, I think, and he told me the story of the film. He had the whole film written, he had the script, he had the dialogues, everything. What a perfectionist. I loved the story. Later on I asked him, I said, Akhil, my Malayalam was so bad, I gave you such a lot of heartache with my bad pronunciation. Why did you even choose me for this film? You could have taken any. This is a big role, important role. He said, well, ma'am, when I related the story to you, you cried.
Right.
So I said, I think I've found the right person. So, even if I don't do another film again, this film will be so precious, will be such a beautiful experience for me, working with somebody like Akhil Satyan, with his unit, what wonderful people in his unit, somebody like Vineet Radhakrishnan, who I just adore, Fahad Fasil, Mukesh, on the first day of shoot, Mukesh sir hugged me and said, welcome to Malayalam cinema. Shanti Krishna, innocent sir. I mean, imagine what a debut. There's a saying in Urdu, he has already given me so much. My hands don't even raise now for a dua.
No, right.
This is, and another thing which is very, very personal. This film expedition of mine, it gave my husband a lot of joy, a lot of pride, a lot of pleasure. He was so proud of this that I was, and my mother. My mother has watched the film. She's 96 years old. She is my inspiration, and she's so happy. She said, "Oh, I'm the mother of an actress." And I think it was so timely. I lost my husband a couple of months ago, but he was there to enjoy the film and he watched the film 8 times on the big screen. He loved it so much and he met with Akhil.
Which man wouldn't want to be married to an actress? Like
He's
goals.
the real hero. He's the real hero, though.
Like, yeah, goals.
Goals, yeah. So it was an incredible experience.
Any new offers coming in?
There have been a couple, but it's been a very tumultuous time for me just now, and that's the thing, Akhil Satyan has spoilt me for, I would want a role.
There's no going down, you have to go up. Yeah.
I would want a role something like this with a unit as amazing as Akhil Satyan's unit.
You can be picky.
Yeah,
You can afford to be picky.
yeah,
That's nice. That's
yeah.
nice.
But it was an experience, and you know, it's very humbling when people recognize you, and you have a chance to make someone happy. The two young women who came to tidy up my room in the hotel, they had not yet finished, and I went in. I had left my watch, then so I just had gone to pick up something, and then so they were so excited, and they said thank you, and they went out, and then they came back and said, "Ma'am, or a selfie kato." So they had recognized me. So Jinsi and Aparna, their names. I asked them their names, and we chatted. It was so nice, you know. It was just so lovely.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask you, when I Googled your name, Google lists you as an author.
Yeah.
Like
It
of
does.
all the tags that you have going on,
It
like
does. It does. And it's one book I have written and published.
yeah, okay, you want to talk
One
about
book.
that? I mean, you want to
Yeah.
mention that?
Yeah. And but then you can see how misleading Google can be. And if I can say something that's totally politically incorrect, we have a Supreme Court saying they will not grant bail to the Tamil Nadu minister because they checked on Google and Google says his condition is not so serious. I mean, like, you can, you know, this I had to say
Yeah,
this.
yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's all right. But yeah,
So I wrote this book. It's called Maximo and the Big
yeah,
C.
yeah, and the big C, yeah.
It's all about fighting fear.
Right.
It's a little bird who four little eggs hatch in the mama and papa sparrow's nest, and one of the birds is a weakling, is very tiny and not robust like
The other,
like
yeah,
his
yeah.
siblings, and his mother is worried, his father is worried, and he's a little bird. His wings don't have the strength to fly. Everybody else is flying around and, you know, doing all things, and this bird is just there. And one day he hears a big sound, a large cry for help, and he looks down and he sees a baby bird has fallen down from the nest.
Okay.
And there's this cat coming, licking his chops and saying, "That's my dinner." From some Maximo looks everywhere. His name is Maximo. His mother says she wanted to give this little bird a name that will compensate for his tiny, frail frame. So she calls him Maximo. And Max is also, it's Max Foundation.
Right.
Max is Max is the young boy who died of leukemia, in whose name this foundation is set up. So Maximo, it seems to be the perfect name. So then Maximo looks around and, there's nobody. And he swoops down, this bird who's never flown in his life. He just swoops down, picks up the little bird, brings it back and puts it in its nest. And the big C is the big cat.
The big cat, yeah.
I don't talk of cancer here because we are fighting fear.
Right.
So Maximo has fought his inner fears, and he realized that, there is something greater than your own fears. And when he saw somebody else in distress, he put away all his fears away. They all went into the back burner. At that moment, he knew that he was the only person there who could save that bird. So he found that strength, he found that courage. We have it in our inner reserves. We keep it, but we don't know when we are going to need it. And then he saw it, and that's Maximo and the Big
No,
C.
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. See,
So this story idea was given to me by, her name is Maria Isabel Gomez. She's also a leukemia patient. She's 80 years old. She passed away 4 years ago. She used to live in Venezuela. So she gave me the story idea. It's just a few lines in a little scrap of paper. And all the beautiful illustrations are done by another cancer survivor who lives in Malaysia. His name is Fan. And Pat, who is Max's stepmother, and she's the CEO of the Max Foundation. She brought us all together and said, "Come on, Viji, you have to write the story. You're constantly telling us tales. You're constantly talking. Come on, write this story for us." Fan did the illustrations and the book was born.